just going to throw it out there to you guys listening to me today. I don't really care if you are a Bray Wyatt fan or not. Bray Wyatt is the biggest creative failure of the modern era in WWE. I don't care. We've seen him come and gone. We've seen him with so many different variations and silliness and story that never truly wrapped up. It remains unfinished. I don't care. If he comes back, I don't care. If he goes away, I don't care. Maybe pro wrestling isn't cut out for Wyndham Rotunda. Now, a piece of interesting news dropped this week via WrestleVotes on Twitter. It was also backed up by PW Insider. Bray Wyatt is no longer listed on the WWE internal roster. WWE has an internal list of all of their talents that includes the names that are on the injured/inactive list, but Wyatt is not listed on this internal roster. Last week, the Twitter account, the Twitter Insider that everybody seems to love nowadays, Boozer Wrestling, was asked about Bray's status and said that his future is up to him and WWE management. Now, Alexa Bliss is slated to return soon. There were plans to pair Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt back together, but there's nothing new on Wyatt's return to the company. The last bit of news via Fightful several weeks ago was that Wyatt was dealing with an illness. Wyatt was recently seen publicly with his wife, JoJo Offerman. Now, we don't know if he's still dealing with the illness or if there's other issues keeping him away. Vince. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Dealing with illness or if there are other issues. Bruce. I'm sorry, man. I'm getting over a cold. I'm sorry. Other issues keeping him away from WWE television. Wyatt's last TV match was against LA Knight, which made LA Knight into a star, and Bray Wyatt seemingly went bye-bye at the Royal Rumble. Terrible match. It actually brought LA Knight down a few notches. He went on to wrestle some live events and dark matches, but he hasn't wrestled since the February 26th live event in Rockford, Illinois. At the time, there were plans for him to wrestle Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, clearly, which was a Vince McMahon idea, but that never materialized. Now, I know a lot of people are going to base this off of the photo that was shown on social media, and it was making the rounds on social media. I'm just going to be fair here. Usually I am very fair, but I'm going to be more fair here in this Bray Wyatt situation. You know, a picture is not going to really tell you anything. You could be suffering a condition and then still be out and doing what you need to do and going out to dinner and spending time with your wife and friends. I mean, it's not, you know, that he's bedridden. He's not dying. So he was photographed with his wife and a couple of other colleagues. They were out to dinner. He was dressed in a fancy red tuxedo. And I'm not going to really base that off of anything. I'm not. They say illness, but we don't really know what the illness is. Now, what I think is happening, and I don't really believe WWE is actually paying this guy to sit at home and do nothing. I mean, if there's going to be budget cuts happening, Bray Wyatt is making himself public enemy number one when the time for budget cuts happens, because they'll look and see what's going on. Well, this guy's making this amount of money. Where's he been? He's been inactive since February. Yeah, let's get rid of him. He's making himself out to be a fucking target. Now, what I think is happening here, and what I truly believe is happening here, is that Wyatt was dealing with an illness. He was. Do I still think he's dealing with the ramifications of an illness now? No. No, I don't. I don't think Bray Wyatt's dealing with an illness. He was dealing with an illness, but now he's not dealing with an illness. What he's dealing with right now is Vince McMahon-itis. You see, this is a very rare disease in WWE realm. Nobody will admit it, but I know that it exists. And I know that Bray Wyatt's suffering from it. There's also Bruce-itis. This is something that's also rare in WWE these days. Nobody will admit it, but these are the things that are keeping Bray Wyatt away from WWE television. Vince McMahon and his old administration running wild, brother. That's exactly what's going on in WWE. Now, how much is he running? That remains to be seen, but he's certainly there. His shadow looms large. Does Vince McMahon's shadow over WWE creative? You mean to tell me you want me to sit here and believe that Bray Wyatt is off of television when they have specific writers to write for him? He's not back at TV yet after the colossal failure that was his last gimmick and then the bullshit, nonsensical, illogical match that Vince put him in at WrestleMania with Bobby Lashley. You mean to tell me that we're still going with the Bray Wyatt illness? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. Bray Wyatt is not on the internal roster. Bray Wyatt, for all we know, could be fucking released, and we'll never know. Now, the other people on this active roster list or internal roster list, the injured and inactive members of the roster, Tommaso Ciampa, who's legitimately hurt. They've already made assumptions that he's coming back to television. They've made teases on TV. Johnny Gargano has anyway. R-Truth, hurt. Gable Steveson, I don't think he's doing anything with the WWE, so he's on that list as well. Logan Paul is a part-timer. Wrestles, twice a year for WWE? He's on that list. But Bray Wyatt is a full-time guy, and he's not on any of these lists. Where is he? He wants to run as far away from Vince McMahon as possible, man. Bray Wyatt was ill. Bray Wyatt right now is ill of Vince McMahon, and with Vince back, you won't see Bray Wyatt back on WWE television in a meaningful role. Maybe it's time to go find a new hobby if you're Wyndham Rotunda. AEW. This story is getting funnier by the fucking day, man. AEW is now denying that they rehired Ace Steel. Ace Steel, a confidant, a very good friend of CM Punk, they are now denying that they rehired Ace Steel. Which is it, Mr. Khan, TK? Did you hire him or did you not hire him? On Thursday, Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling reported that AEW had rehired Ace Steel earlier this year as the company was gearing up for CM Punk's return that was going to coincide with the debut of AEW Collision, which is going to be their new show on Saturday nights. However, in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer mentioned several times that Ace Steel's return as producer was denied to him by multiple sources. But Nick Hausman just put out an exclusive. You know, the same Nick Hausman that got fucking blasted at the media scrum by CM Punk. The same Nick Hausman who started his own website after leaving Wrestling Inc., his own podcast after leaving Wrestling Inc., and cited this as an exclusive. That Nick Hausman. Now Dave Meltzer's got people telling him that this is not true, denied to him by multiple sources. Really now? Let's read on. There had been rumblings for a few weeks that he returned or was going to return to help produce Collision because CM Punk's going to be the star of the show and he's going to be working primarily off that show. However, he was told by people at the top that it was false. So who's wrong here? Is it Dave Meltzer or is it Nick Hausman? Who's wrong? Since being the only person to be fired following Brawl Out, Ace Steel remained a free agent and was reportedly in talks with Impact. Oh, man. Jesse, I'm sorry, bro. Nobody's watching Impact, man. What does that make you? One of four people? Bro, I love you, man, but give me a break. Impact Wrestling. However, it was reported by the other outlets that Tony Khan was allowing Steel to return remotely to work on the creative side for Collision. There was a belief at one point that Ace Steel would physically return to be backstage at shows when Punk returned for Collision, which would likely cause issues with some people. No shit. Meltzer noted that some higher-ups in AEW were unaware of Ace Steel and the rumor until recently. When some key talent found out within the last couple of weeks, they were shocked. Again, color me fucking surprised. Looking forward, AEW has announced several Collision tapings except for their June 17th premiere. It's been rumored to be taking place at the United Center in Chicago. However, the lack of a Punk appearance may affect that. The location will officially be revealed during the May 24th episode of AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW does have a backup plan in case CM Punk does not make the debut of AEW Collision. And AEW right now is looking to book the United Center. They're working on booking the United Center. I believe they have it booked. But they are working on booking Daly's Place as a backup plan. It's not plan A, but Chicago is still in place. And if that falls through, Daly's Place will be a backup plan for the debut episode of Collision, which would be fucking lame, to be quite honest with you. Meltzer says, I think that the basic thing is that they either settle it and he announces the United Center and Punk is back, or they don't. And if they don't, I mean, from my standpoint, I think that's got to be it. You should never say that because it's never it. But this was really a bad situation the way it went down. I don't believe we're risking a brand new show, a brand new, I would say, lease on life for AEW. We're risking all of these great things for someone like Ace Steel, who has been, out of everybody in this situation, the most expendable guy. I don't really understand it. So Nick Hausman puts out an exclusive that this guy's back. AEW obviously is going to deny it because now word is getting around in the locker room that Ace Steel's back and people didn't fucking know. Tony Khan is keeping secrets from everybody. I mean, that's something that I think TK should be divulging, especially seeing the ramifications of what happened with the brawl out situation. Tony Khan is going to keep something like that away from the roster. What the fuck are we doing? You can't bring somebody like that back without letting the roster know. I mean, he was at the forefront of everything. He threw a chair at Omega. He bit Omega's arm. I mean, holy shit. What is going on there? Honestly, who's running this fucking place? Is it Tony Khan or is it CM Punk? I don't believe that you're risking all this great shit because you want to hide the fact that Ace Steel is back as a producer for AEW Collision because CM Punk wants him back. I mean, if I'm Warner Brothers Discovery, man, I'm stepping in and saying, what the fuck are you people doing? We're throwing you this type of money and giving you a Saturday night primetime slot, and we can't get this shit in order? We're bringing back a guy that I could have replaced tomorrow, and this is what you're banking the fucking show on. I don't believe it. You're risking the roster and everybody's happiness by bringing back somebody that I guarantee you half the audience doesn't even fucking know, and nobody gives a shit what the fuck is going on with who's producing it. Go get somebody else that has absolutely a clean slate and didn't bite the arm of a fucking EVP. Seriously. That's what we're risking everything on. The most expendable guy in the fucking company. It is unbelievable. Is Collision taking place in the United Center, or is it going to Daly's Place? It's not going to Daly's Place. CM Punk will be in Chicago on June 17th for Collision. That is what's going to happen. All of this could have been avoided without bringing back Ace Steel, and CM Punk didn't have to go blast Brian Alvarez during the week on Instagram. If CM Punk doesn't want the media to be all up his fucking shit, then the announcement should have already been made. I'll be there. Tony Khan announced CM Punk. We'll see you in Chicago on June 17th. But everybody's making wild speculations and this and that and this and that. And then people start talking, and then the wrestlers get mad at the media because the fucking wrestlers don't understand the media, and the media is doing whatever they can to get clicks and likes and views and fucking attention to their websites. And everybody's basically fucking in a circus. It's all a circus on social media. It's all a circus in the IWC. CM Punk will be, by hook or by crook, because Warner wants it, and whatever Warner wants, they get. They ask for Punk, Tony Khan's going to deliver Punk. I'm sure Warner Brothers talked to Punk already. Punk will be in Chicago, Punk will be at the United Center, and Punk will be on that show, AEW Collision, June 17th. Ace Steel, I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. Producer, creative, get him out. If he's already causing this fucking amount the problem, I don't even know why the fuck we brought him back. To be quite honest with you, this is not worth it. Him. The happiness of the roster and the health of the show is not worth a steal. In positive AEW news, before we get the fuck out of here, AEW Fight Forever has a release date. I will be all over it. I can't wait. Now, we talked about speculation about a possible release date after the New Japan AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and Fightful Select has learned as of Sunday that the AEW Fight Forever release date is scheduled for June 27th. Mike Straw actually reported this during the week, and he accurately reported recently that he heard the date would be around Forbidden Door's show. Fightful has heard from several retailers that they were told a late June release before confirming the June 27th date. Finally, we got a little bit more than a month. 5 weeks to go for this game to come out. Can't wait, man. WWE 2K in the mud. AEW Fight Forever. We'll be on it. We'll be doing our thing. And we'll be having a great time, man. Playing something that's new, fresh, and a take on the old school instead of reissuing WWE 2K over and over and over again, and barely any changes have been made. I'm excited for it. Can't wait for it. June 27th, AEW Fight Forever will be released for all next-gen consoles, and I'll be on PlayStation 5 the day of. Can't wait. Thank you guys very much for all your support on this episode today. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on today's OTS. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go out and check all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it for you. And make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel on social media, man. At JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. We are all over social media. And I will be live on Monday following Monday Night Raw. So make sure you guys tune in live after the show is over. I'll be live right here on Off the Script. Enjoy your Sundays, guys, and I'll see you right back here on OTS.